This tutorial is going to be on how to use Microsoft Excel to make a data table, how to copy and paste that data table into Microsoft Word, the appropriate way to save that document, and then how to upload that document to Moodle. Please note that I am using Microsoft Office 2011 for Mac. So the icons and buttons and overall look of my Microsoft will be different from yours. However, the instructions and the wordings are the same. You just have to find them on your machine. So I'm going to do one of the examples that are on Moodle just for practice. So let's go to Moodle, and I have up our 7th grade page. I'm going to scroll all the way down to today's information, and I'm just going to work on example 2. So let's open this example and see what it says. Alright, we experimented to see if the surface area of salt affected how quickly it dissolved in water. We used rock salt and table salt. Each type of salt was dissolved in water with the same amount of stirring. We measured the time in seconds that it took for identical masses of the two kinds of salt to dissolve. For each type of salt, we performed 3 trials, and we averaged the results of the 3 trials. Now, the reason I picked this example is because you do see the word time in here, but if you notice, there's no values for time. So time does not and will not go on the left-hand side of your data table, because in this case, time is the responding variable. It is absolutely the responding variable because they want to know how much time it took for the salt to dissolve based on the shape of that salt, whether it was table salt or a much larger rock salt. So in this case, the independent variable is the type of salt. We have rock salt and we have table salt. The responding variable is the rate of dissolving. So how long does it take this salt to dissolve? And we're going to take 3 trials. Trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, and then we're going to average that. So we need to make a data table for this. Now, before we even open up Excel, we want to think about what our data table is going to look like. We're going to make a rough draft on a sheet of notebook paper. So I always like to work one box at a time. So within my data table, my top box is going to be for my title. And then in this case, my time, because it's there's no values here, that time is a value that I'm going to be collecting. So therefore, since I am collecting that data, that's going to be on the right, because on the right-hand side of our data table is where we have our spaces for the data that we collect. So my rate of dissolving will be my main heading on my right-hand side, because that is my responding variable. And then my subheadings will be trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, and then I need a column for average. On the left-hand side of my data table is where I'm going to put the type of salt, and then I have rock salt and table salt. So now that I have brainstormed and made an outline of what my data table should look like, I am going to go to Microsoft Excel. And I am going to get started on making this data table. So I'm just going to open up a blank spreadsheet. And again, working one box at the time, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through. The way we make data tables using Excel is by using a combination of borders for our individual cells, and a cell is like D2, that would be a cell. So next to our underline button, we have this square here, and if we pull down the drop menu, we'll see that we can do some outside borders, all borders, top border, bottom border, left, right, and no border. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using to shape our data table. So I know that I need trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, and an average. And I know that I have the type. So that's going to tell me that I have 5 total columns. Okay, I'm going to have 5 total columns. So my title box needs to be 5 columns wide, and I'm going to come here to outside border. Okay, so when I do that, notice that I now have it bordered. Now, because this is my title, I also want to color it. So I'm going to come over here to the paint can, and I'm just going to give it a very light gray. Okay, that lets me know it's the title. Then I'm going to do the right-hand side of my data table. Again, I had trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, and average. So I'm going to highlight those 4. Now this is my main heading, and my main heading was the rate of dissolving in seconds. My unit was seconds. So I'm going to do some outside borders here. And now I need to do my trials. So since I have trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, and trial 4, I have 4 things that I need, and I have highlighted 4 cells. I can do all borders. And so what that does is it puts those lines there. So now I have trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, and average. Then I'm going to take this whole box, these 2 cells here, do an outside border, and now I have the left-hand side of my data table. All right, we had 2 types of salt, so I only need to highlight 2 cells, and then I need to drag it all the way over. And on this one, I need to do, again, all borders, because I have a salt, and then I have my trial numbers. So now I'm going to start filling in, okay? Now right now the data table is really squunched, and I'm going to show you how to widen it out in just a second. So my title, remember our title needs to include both the responding variable and the manipulated variable. So I'm just going to say the rate of dissolving for rock salt and table salt. Okay, and I want it to be in the middle, so I'm just going to space it over some. So when I move my mouse, it kind of takes up the whole thing there. I could make it a little bigger font, but we're not going to do all that right now. So now I need my title here. This is my main heading, and it was going to be my responding variable, and it was the rate of dissolving. And the unit was in seconds, and again, I want mine to be in the middle, so I'm just going to scroll it over there some. So now we see it's in the middle. And then I had trial 1, and because this is an individual cell, to center it, now I can just highlight the cell and then do the center button, and that's what I'm going to do for my 3 trials and my average, is I'll just center them very nicely like that instead of using the space bar. Trial 3, but I couldn't do that with the rate of dissolving and the title because I started in cell 1 and continued writing in it, and it went over into other cells, so I couldn't center it because I would just be centering it in the cell I wrote in. So we have average, and then over here I have my type of salt. And notice I chose to go to the second line because if I tried to put salt here, it would have bled into that column. I had table salt, and I had rock salt. Okay, now notice how squunched this looks. I'm going to make it a little bigger, just to give it some more spacing. So I'm going to come over here. Notice if I take my mouse and move it in between a number, my thick square becomes a square with arrows on the up and down. And you just put that in between the 2 rows that you want to make bigger and pull it down, and now I can simply make those rows bigger. So now my data table is a little bigger. Now if you feel a little comfortable with the document, you can try working on making the fonts bigger and making, just the data table in general bigger by moving the rows and columns and then, changing the font size. But we're going to keep it simple. Now I'm done with this data table. Remember, there's no data here because we haven't conducted the experiment. So now, just so I don't lose this, I'm going to save it. okay, just for my own purposes. And I need to select my flash drive, and I'm just going to name this one Katie's data table, just in case, you know, I just don't want to lose it in the process of transferring it over to Word. So now we have a data table. It has the title, it has the headings, and everything's ready for me to put this in a Microsoft Word document. So now I'm going to open up my Microsoft Word. And remember that we need our name in the upper right hand corner, so I'm just going to put my name here. And then we're going to copy this data table. Now, sometimes when you copy data tables, they don't copy very nicely. You know, just play with it a little bit and, you know, try to fit it on the screen. But hopefully this one will copy just fine. So we're going to go to Edit, Copy, and we're going to come over here and we're going to paste. And there's my data table, okay? This is ready for me to turn in. I see a little mistake right here, so I'm gonna fix it because I don't want that second down there, okay? I'm ready to turn this in for my homework assignment. So to save this file, I told you guys in class that I needed you to save your documents a particular way so it makes it easier for me when I'm downloading everything to grade. So you're going to go to File, Save As, and you're going to name this, as I said in class, and it's written on Moodle, your first name, last name, and then the assignment. So this was homework, and it was a data table. Okay, make sure it's on your flash drive, and you're going to hit Save. Okay, so now you're ready to upload your data table to Moodle. So I'm just going to close all this stuff out, and I'm going to go back to our Moodle page. And at the very top of the page, and there's several places you can get to this assignment, but we'll just do it this way. Over here under Upcoming Events, you have Homework. Now notice it says it's due tomorrow, but it's not due tomorrow, okay? It's due tonight. However, once we click on it, we'll see that it says the due date is Friday, September 30th at 8:10 a.m. So notice that I've extended the due date for the students that email me tonight and say they're having trouble. They've done all that they can do and they simply just need my help. That they're going to come in tomorrow morning at 7:30 with their information they've already done on their flash drive and on their piece of paper, and we're going to do this together. So I need to leave this open for those students because if I close it, then they won't be able to submit it at all tomorrow. So it's just easier for me to leave it open. However, it is due tonight at 11:55 p.m. So, you know, unless you've already emailed me and told me that you're coming in tomorrow morning at 7:30, I expect to see everything uploaded by 11:55. So before you upload your assignment, there is some information here that tells you what you'll be doing. Okay, it shows how you save your file name. We've already done all that in this video. So now we're going to find that file. Now I put it on my flash drive. So I'm going to go to Browse and see how right here I'm in my documents. But that is not where I saved that file. I saved that file to my flash drive. So I'm going to open up my flash drive and I'm going to find that file that I named my first name, last name, and an assignment. And here it is. So now I'm going to click Open and notice it shows up right here. And I'm going to hit Upload this file. And it may take a couple of seconds to upload the file. And there we have it. So once you see this here where it shows your name, last name, then the assignment and a little X, this tells you that your assignment has been uploaded. If you click this X, you're going to delete it off of there and you'll need to upload it again. Okay? So hopefully, and now you're finished and you can go back to your Moodle page and, you know, but the other way that you could access assignments is here on this link here, and then of course it's going to show all of your assignments. And then notice here, it'll tell you when you submitted this assignment, and then, you know, it has your grade right there. So this is another way that you can see your assignments and your grades. So, and then the third way that you can access where to turn something in is underneath where it's due. So right here is today's date, and here's your homework description, and then here's the link. So you click on that, it too will bring you there. So as far as making data tables, I hope that this tutorial will help you this evening, just to kind of remind you of the things that we talked about in class today. Like I said, don't give up. Just try to learn your software. And again, if you're having issues and you feel like you need to come in tomorrow morning at 7:30, you need to email me that you're coming in, and you also need to come in with an attempt. You have to come in with attempted work. Otherwise, it just helps me better to see where you're having problems. And so anyway, if you're needing to see how to do a line graph in Excel, then you'll need to watch the next video.